Hey guys, I am here today to give you a little bit more I don't know where I'm going with this. Hi guys, I'm just going to start over. Pretend that didn't happen. It is, Thursday? So I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I'm here to share with you guys a concept that I learned this past weekend that I just thought was like a really different perspective on, nutrition and different methods of losing weight and where everybody is with their own nutrition journey. So this past weekend I was in Tempe, Arizona, which a lot of you may know, and I got to listen to a bunch of other nutrition coaches talk about techniques that they use in their programs, and I learned a ton from them about how to build a successful program. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is a concept I learned from Andreas. He is a nutrition coach who works with a lot of athletes who are, really have the basics of nutrition down already when they come to him, and they're looking to nitpick and really, really fine tune their own nutrition. So he does occasionally experiment with keto and intermittent fasting as nutrition strategies for his clients. So he talked a little bit about, who that would be appropriate for. But the concept I want to share with you guys is his concept of how everybody is either a beginner, intermediate, or advanced when it comes to nutrition. So as you're coming on here, let me know what you think you are. Are you beginner, intermediate, or advanced with your nutrition? So personally, I'm gonna put myself in the intermediate category, and I'll tell you why later, but just for reference, that's where I think that I am. So beginner nutrition is really getting down the basics. So that means understanding how many calories your body needs, understanding what foods make you feel full, understanding how to put together a really well-balanced meal. The basics is really all you need throughout your life to have good, sustainable, healthy habits. None of us need to be anything more than a beginner to have just really solid nutrition habits. So this is who I mostly work with, beginners. People who are trying to lose weight, trying to understand how many calories their body needs or how much their body needs, and how much of fruits and vegetables they need, how much protein they need, how to put together a good meal so that they don't feel hungry an hour later. Beginners are my favorite people to work with, and nobody ever needs to move past this. 2 is going to be your intermediate. So an intermediate person is going to be somebody who has the basics down and is looking to, has the little room to play around now. So that's why I would consider myself this. So if I want to run a little bit of an experiment, I could see, what if I change my meal timing up a little bit? Or what if I want to adjust my macros a little bit? How does that make me feel? And how does that improve my nutrition or my fitness, etc.? How does that make me have more energy throughout the day? So an intermediate has a little bit more advanced strategies they can use, like macros or meal timing. The third one is going to be your advanced people. So your advanced people have down their macros, they have down their meal timing, and they want to use advanced strategies to really, really fine-tune their nutrition. Based on what I learned this weekend, this is the group of people who can experiment with keto intermittent fasting, where they already have the basics down solid and they know a lot about the intermediate stuff, and they're just really trying to find and experiment with their nutrition to figure out what works for them. That being said, research on intermittent fasting and keto is pretty hit or miss. There's not really any good research saying that it's definitely something we should be recommending, which is why I keep using the word experimenting. Okay, so these strategies are things that people who really, really know their nutrition can experiment with. So I, a lot of times, see a disconnect between the level of nutrition that people have and the type of strategies that they're trying to use. For example, a beginner nutrition person trying to use an advanced strategy, a lot of times it doesn't work. And that's why, I see a lot of people come to me and they're like, I tried keto and it didn't work for me. I tried intermittent fasting, it didn't work for me. I tried counting my macros and it really didn't work for me. That's because in order to move on to those types of things, you have to have the basics down first. Meal timing doesn't matter very much if your calorie balance is out of whack. Your macros, again, not going to be super important if you don't know how much your body needs overall. So what I want you guys to take away from this is that the basics are all that any of us ever need to have a good, healthy lifestyle. And 2, that, based on where you fall on this scale, choose nutrition strategies that are going to meet you where you are at. You don't need to be messing around with stuff that is super complicated and hard to adhere to when you're just trying to get your basics down. So I hope that this helped. I hope that this helped kind of reframe some of the fad diets that are out there for you, and gave you a different perspective like it did for me. But if you have any questions, as always, leave them below and I will answer them all as I can. Bye, guys.